Hello there, my name is Mr. Wizardly. This video is the first in a style that I am calling Wizardly Speaks, which has far fewer visuals than usual. It's more designed to be something that you can listen to while you're doing something else, and I think that's fine for some topics where it's hard to get good visuals for them anyway. Most normal people in my position would just record themselves with a webcam, but I don't have one, so this'll have to do. The positives are that this style of video is a lot easier to make, so it can come out much faster and more frequently than my usual videos, but on the flip side, the production values will be much lower. I understand that it won't be to everyone's tastes, but don't worry, for I'll still be doing high effort videos in my usual style as well. Hopefully this will tide you over until the next big one comes out. Also, I have a couple of announcements and updates at the end of the video, so do stick around for that, or I guess you can be Team Devil and skip ahead using the timestamp below if you somehow get bored with the topic at hand. So anyway, let's get stuck in. Before I went about covering the specifics of the D&D UA Playtest 5, there's a weapon mastery video coming soon, I kinda wanted to talk about my overall impressions of what they've given us so far. So how do I think things over at Wizards of the Coast, otherwise known as WotC for short, are going? While I'm still going through the most recent document at the time of recording this, it's quite a big one to digest. Just like the last few, so far it feels to me like it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It's heading in the right direction in most cases, there are a lot of general improvements that are being made, some of which are really cool and imaginative, but it is also failing to even hint at addressing some of the critical flaws with the system, namely the broken aspects of character progression, high-level play, how bonus actions work, monster design, and by extension, encounter design. There are other big problems as well, but that's just off the top of my head. The current changes that they've been making in the UA will certainly freshen up the rules, it will generally improve the player's quality of life overall, and if they do this then D&D will continue to limp along for the foreseeable future, but so far they seem to be averse to doing anything more than lots of minor tweaks and other band-aid solutions, making this 5.5 edition for all intents and purposes, much like what 3.5 was to 3rd edition, only people weren't fed up with 3rd edition at the stage when 3.5 came out. 3rd edition was still relatively young, and so getting an update to fix the numerous bugs that were in need of ironing out was a lot more appealing, but people are much more fed up, comparatively speaking, with 5th edition. I can remember back a year ago when every major D&D content creator was putting out videos fidgeting about needing a new edition. It's still relatively early days, I concede that we do not have all of the details yet, and I'm open to the prospect of being surprised, but what's he claiming that, oh, this isn't a new edition, it's all still 5th edition, is completely stupid on so many different levels. Firstly, people asked WotC explicitly for a new edition, and here WotC are actively telling us that it won't be. Secondly, it is technically a new edition, but it's the bare minimum of a new edition. It's just an improved clone of the current edition. And Wizards of the Coast are lying to you when they say that it is fully backwards compatible, because they really want to make sure that you keep buying their new books until the next edition comes out. In most cases, you'll be able to salvage some of it for homebrew, as the systems are similar enough, but backwards compatible is a very strong term to describe the tinkering you'll need to do to make it fit. In my opinion, just giving us more of what they had already been giving us won't be enough to sustain the hobby as it is today. You and I can do things that spice up and refine and rebalance peripheral mechanics in D&D, things like races, classes, subclasses, spells, etc. But what we can't do is fix the core fundamental mechanics that are broken, like the CR system and high-level play and bonus actions and the like, unless we homebrew the whole entire system to try and make it fit. That's the bit that I had hoped that they would focus on improving. That's the bit that I can't do. They need to fix all of the broken bits before we can move on. And this applies to the horde of D&D clones that are currently being made as well, such as Project Black Flag, Matt Colville's thing, Matt Mercer's thing, the Clownfish TV thing. There are loads of them being made, but whatever they are, they need to fix some of these core problems that people are having with the system. It's not acceptable, especially for a company owned by a billion-dollar corporation to do the bare minimum and then just sell you the same thing with most of the same problems over again. In conclusion, WotC are currently in the process of reheating a loaf of stale bread. It's not great, it's the same old bread, but it's slightly more palatable than it was before they put it in the microwave. Maybe I'm wrong, I sure hope I am. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. So, on to the announcements. First, I've made a quick update to the Bloodhunter rules. Blood Curse of the Heartstopper has had its wording improved and clarified, and I've also fixed a few minor Blood Curse typos. So if you want the updated version, which is 2.9.12, you can download that in the description. I must admit, typos in particular seem like paperclips. You suddenly find them in the most peculiar places and you have no idea how they actually got there. They must have spontaneously manifested into the universe of their own accord, because no other explanation seems to make any sense to you. But you do have my sincere apologies. Hopefully that's the last of the infestation. And while I'm talking about that, with regards to my Bloodhunter analysis video series, where I'm going through all of the subclasses, I'm going to take a short break from that, because of the way that the YouTube algorithm is functioning. The TLDR version is that video goes out to subscribers first, and depending on how well it does with your base, depends on how many new people YouTube will promote the video to. There's a portion of my audience which is keen for me to go into some more depth on my Bloodhunter class rework, and there's another portion of my audience which is eager for me to move on to covering a wider variety of topics. This means that because it has mixed interest, YouTube isn't recommending my video to many new people. So basically, most of my new subscribers are coming from people that are actively looking for my videos in the search terms, and it's not being picked up much outside of that, really limiting who sees it. Which is a slight issue, as I can't really afford to sacrifice the growth of my channel at this particular moment, given that I haven't even achieved monetization status or anything like that yet. I appreciate and understand both sides of my fan base on this issue, so I figured that as a compromise, taking a break will probably reinvigorate interest and result in more people watching the Bloodhunter content overall, but I will get around to covering them. They'll probably just be sprinkled in amongst other stuff. All of your support and appreciation for my content really does mean a lot to me, as it not only inspires me, but it also helps me move closer to my goals. So many people have had kind words to say, and I've had a lot of really good discussions. While I'm a bit hard up at the moment, I don't really like e-begging, it doesn't really come naturally to me. Don't worry if you don't have anything you can really spare. Just helping with the analytics by liking the video and stuff is already more than I could ask for. I've always wanted to feel like I'm giving people value for their money anyway, which is why I'm working hard on adding even more stuff for you to download on my Patreon and Subscribestar. I'm also feeling a bit better now, which is why there was a slight gap in the content. It's kind of hard to record stuff when you're in a semi-delusional state and you can't concentrate on anything except in weirdly specific ways. Sometimes it's a benefit. This wasn't one of those times, but hopefully I'm over the worst of that and now I can get back to work. So, thank you all for watching, and that's all from me for now. This is Mr. Wizardly, signing off.